For some women working under San Diego Sheriff Sergeant Kotaro Murashige, a day at the office meant sexist, condescending, and disparaging comments. An internal affairs report found that when female deputies called Murashige to ask for help, he'd hang up on them. When they asked for additional job training, he mocked them, ignored them, or told them to quit. Murashige resigned in lieu of being fired, but he kept his $6,000 monthly pension. His attorney didn't respond to requests for comment. As this case shows, even in 2022, police departments can still be toxic places, especially for women. Ellen Kirschman is a psychologist who treats police officers. She says police departments need women in their ranks.
They make really, really, really good officers. Some of the sharpest, smartest, most dedicated, and competent people I know in law enforcement are female.
Kirschman says female officers can find themselves caught in a catch-22. Sexism keeps them out of leadership roles, so the sexism often continues.
If you have the right women that have been promoted, they will keep their eye out for when these things happen, and they will mentor the younger or the newer women on the job.
So what can be done? Kirschman says if departments are serious, they adopt strict policies and enforce them.
People in charge at the level of management can show decent behavior as opposed to being part of the problem, which it sometimes happens.
No one from the sheriff's department would do an interview for this story, but a spokesperson sent a statement saying the department has strict policies and all employees are required to attend sexual harassment training. But the trainings fall far short, says Debbie Stiesmeyer. She's a former detective suing the sheriff's department for sexual harassment she experienced on the job.
They're, cartoon trainings on a computer. So maybe humanizing the experience and really listening to what happened needs to happen. Even in our detective trainings, you can read the manuals, you can read the materials, but the most memorable training for me was when they brought the rape victims in and they spoke to us and told us what worked.
If an officer is kind of shut down and not really caring, not really tuned in, finding it difficult to relate to his fellow brothers and sisters that they serve with.
Dan Willis is a retired captain from the La Mesa Police Department. He says departments need strict policies, but that's also not enough. They also need empathy and understanding about how the stress and trauma of the job can impact their officers' behavior. If you don't have that,
then you're going to be much more likely to just do things, without thinking of the consequences, without taking the other person's feelings.
Stiesmeyer says systemic reforms are needed that go beyond an individual department. Her harasser did leave the force, but he still gets a pension of almost $6,000 a month.
There has to be a consequence to stop people from doing this. There's nothing deterring them from doing this behavior. So I think that's a huge thing, is that there needs to be big consequences.
She wants a new state law that would stop that from happening. Claire Trageser, KPBS News.